And we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we're going to now get into talking about the Bills and their win over the Colts, 30-20. Now, it was really 30-13. I think the Colts, they scored a touchdown at the very end of the game. But, yeah, they pretty much dominated the Colts in this game. I know the Colts, they made the change from Anthony Richardson to Joe Flacco, and it really hasn't led to any better results. The Colts have now lost 2 in a row since making that switch, and Flacco turned the ball over in this game. Right off the bat, the Colts' first play on their first drive, it ends up being a pick six. So the Bills got the ball to start the game, and then, like I said, Flacco threw a pick. Then the Colts get it back, and he threw yet another interception. This was at the Bills' 37-yard line. On the day, he finished with 3 interceptions. So that's not good. And it makes you wonder at some point, well, could they go back to Anthony Richardson? We'll see. But for now, it's still going to be Joe Flacco. So, yeah, 2 interceptions on their first 2 possessions. Then the Bills got the ball once again. They went 9 plays, 42 yards. And that led to a 29-yard field goal by Tyler Bass. Then the Colts on their drive, you had a 58-yard run by Jonathan Taylor. The last time that they played each other, I think he had, 5 or 6 touchdowns in that game? Or it might have been 5. And that was in Buffalo a couple of years ago. That was with Carson Wentz at quarterback. But he did not have that here. I think he still had a good game, though. Yeah, he had over 100 yards rushing, but did not have 5 touchdowns in that game. And then the Bills got the ball, and they turned it over on downs, which led to a Colts touchdown. They went 11 plays, 72 yards. And Flacco connected with Goodson for a 2-yard touchdown. And then Josh Allen threw a pick that led to a Colts field goal. So the Colts actually were winning this game at one point, 13-10. But then the Bills, they ended up scoring 20 unanswered points. The Bills on their next drive went down the field, and that led to a Josh Allen rushing touchdown. So that made it 17-13. Then the Colts punted, and that led to the Bills on their next drive kicking a field goal. 3rd and 10 at the Bills' 27. Josh Allen just heaves up a 44-yard pass to Matt Collins. And that's what set them up. The Colts could have got off the field, but Josh Allen made a great play there. Then in the third quarter, both teams exchanged punts. Then the Colts fumbled, and then Josh Allen threw a pick, trying to hit Curtis Samuel. He got intercepted by Kenny Moore. And then the Colts, they turned it over on downs. They went for it on 4th and 2 from the Bills' 20, and Flacco ended up getting sacked. And then the Bills kicked another field goal on their drive. They went 13 plays, 16 yards, and that led to a Tyler Bass field goal. Then you had another Flacco interception, which led to a Bills touchdown. They went 13 plays, 84 yards, and that led to a James Cook touchdown from 2 yards out. He had a big run in this game where it looked like he was going to get tackled down, but he was able to avoid that and pick up a big gain. So, yeah, it was 30-13, and then the Colts ended up scoring a touchdown at the very end with about 2 seconds left. Touchdown to Alec Pierce. So that made it 30-20, and then the Bills ended up getting the ball, and that was it. They went 30-20, and the Colts dropped to 4-6. Bills improved to 8-2 on the season. Flacco went 26-35, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Jonathan Taylor, 21 carries for 114 yards. Alec Pierce, 4 for 81 in the touchdown. Josh Downs, 7 for 72. Adonai Mitchell, 6 for 71. Colts defense, a couple of sacks in this game, and a couple of interceptions. You had Kenny Moore with the pick, and you also had E.J. Speed as well. And then as for Josh Allen, he had no touchdown passes in this game, but he had 2 picks, 280 yards passing, 80 yards on the ground by James Cook, and a touchdown. Josh Allen also had 50 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Matt Collins was actually their leading receiver. There was no Amari Cooper in this game. Hopefully they get him back this week when they take on the Chiefs. Matt Collins had 4 for 86. Khalil Shakir, 6 for 58. Bills defense had 4 sacks. And yeah, we look to Sunday, and like I said, they take on the Chiefs, which really looking forward to that game because that's a game that I think the Chiefs can lose, but we'll see if they will. But I mean, nothing really earth shattering that happened in this game, but for the Colts, I mean, they continue to lose games. You know, I think they thought that putting Flacco in that was going to lead to them, experiencing what the Browns experienced last year with him, and so far that has not been the case. Now there's still plenty of season left, and the Colts can still turn it around, but it doesn't look good right now for them. They have now lost 3 straight. Going back to when they lost to the Texans on the 27th. They lose by 8 to the Vikings, and Flacco struggled, and he struggled in this game as well. He didn't throw for over 200 yards in the game against the Vikings. He passed for 179 yards. He had an interception, and then he has 3 picks here, one on the very first play. So it has not been good. It has not been good, but they do take on the Jets this week, so that could be a win. And then they take on the Lions the week after that, which is at home. But they actually do have some game. They do have a decent amount of winnable games coming up on the schedule. They do have the Jets. They have the Patriots, which I don't think is going to be as easy as maybe some would originally have thought because, I think the Patriots are playing better with Drake May. But the Colts are a better team, so I would think they win that. They do take on the Broncos and the Lions. They take on the Lions in Week 12, and Week 15 they take on the Broncos in Denver. So those are going to be tough. But then you take on the Titans, the Giants, and the Jaguars. So, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I did have the Colts finishing 9-8. That's still possible, but right now things aren't looking good there. But the Bills, I mean, they continue to roll. But there are people that still have their doubts with this team, and I understand that because you look at who they've beaten on this 5-game winning streak. They took on the Jets. They barely beat them, won by a field goal. They beat the Titans. They beat the Seahawks in Seattle, which was tough. But, again, the Bills are the better team. They beat the Dolphins at home, and they beat the Colts. The teams that they've lost to, the Ravens and the Texans, those teams are playoff teams. Right now, you're looking at all the teams that they've beaten on this 5-game winning streak. None of those teams are going to be in the playoffs if the playoffs started today. And then you go back to before that, they beat the Dolphins at the beginning of the year. They did beat the Cardinals. Cardinals are a first-place team, but the Bills are better. And they destroyed the Jaguars. So this is going to be, like I said, and like I've been saying, the games that they got coming up on their schedule are really going to show me what the Bills are. Because you got the Chiefs, then you got the Niners out of the bye week, the Rams, and the Lions in Detroit. So we'll see. I definitely do think that the Bills can win on Sunday against the Chiefs. I mean, Josh Allen has owned Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. I want to make that clear. The regular season, he does good against Patrick Mahomes. And the playoffs, look, the shootout that they had in the 2021-2022 playoffs, Josh Allen played really well. I think he played good enough last year where they could have won. But, the postseason is different. Patrick Mahomes has owned Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes is undefeated against Josh Allen in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens with that game. But, look, the Bills are doing what they're supposed to do. They're beating the teams on their schedule, and they're going to have this division pretty much locked up. I know the Dolphins picked up a win, but they got swept by the Bills this season. And, it's the Bills would have to go on a monumental collapse for, the Dolphins to even have a chance. And I think the Dolphins maybe, they could get themselves back into it, but like I said earlier this week, it's going to be an uphill battle for them. So, but the Bills, they are going to be once again AFC East champs, most likely. So they continue to roll. The Colts, they're struggling right now. But like I said, they do have the Jets coming up, so they could definitely win that. But we'll see what happens. But let me know what you guys think about this game. What were your takeaways from it? Let me know in the comments before we go to break. I just want to remind you guys once again to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the super chat button in the chat and create, a super chat of any thought or comment you want to see me acknowledge throughout the live broadcast. Makes the show more lively, more entertaining between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. We appreciate you guys' viewership each and every day, so any contribution you can make to the show means the world to us as we put out content for you guys each and every day. And also, the other way to help out the show is by going to the link at the bottom of the show segment on the ticker, GSMCPodcast.net. That is GSMCPodcast.net. So we will talk about the Bills a little bit later in the show, once again, when we go over the playoff picture, because right now they're leading their division. So when we come back from our next break, we will discuss the Chargers, another team that's looking good right now. They continue to win. Got to keep an eye on them. This was one of the teams that I thought was, kind of underrated going into the year. That could be a sneaky good team because of, the changes that they made, bringing in Jim Harbaugh. So we'll talk about their win over the Titans. They're 6-3 now, and just kind of, a little bit of repetition from last week. Just talk about how dangerous this team can be, if they're in the playoffs. Just talk about that, and obviously get into the specifics of the game as well. We'll touch upon it all when we come back. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.